Joining me is Alan Moran of Regulation Economics, which looks at the economics of green energy. Alan, here we are in the West, we're, cutting our coal-fired power station, China ramping it up. It's preaching global warming. We're doing, we're making ourselves weaker. They're making themselves stronger. Is it a game to them?
Well, it's not a game. They've got a colossal amount of coal. I mean, 7 times the amount of coal that we produce is produced in China. And they unabashedly use that to produce power cheaply. Indeed, if you look at the costs of electricity there, and they're basically coal generated as ours is, but in their case, the cost of electricity is less than half our cost. They have a lot. They do have some wind, less than half as much as we have per capita, much less than half as much. But they basically use this low-cost energy to be the backbone of their booming economy, and we've benefited from this, of course, as 35% of our exports are to China, and they dominate our steel and our iron ore. But we've benefited it, but it's made us part of their, I guess, part of their economy, really. We're a junior partner to China, and it's very difficult to see how we get out of this, or whether we should get out of it. There aren't any alternative markets for us, and yet we are now wedded, as you say, in a dangerous situation in the world, to a power which is democratic.
Look, it's not just the fact that we're sending our power to help make them richer, right, and stronger. My point is, with global warming, they pay lip service to the theory. They've been allowed in the Paris Agreement. They can increase their emissions to double. They're saying, yes, get on board the global warming thing, which means we deindustrialise, we get weaker, we get less rich.
Exactly. They,
meanwhile, exploit and get more rich. Well, this is a game.
They make a statement that, by 2060 or something like
2060.
that, they're going to be carbon neutral or something like it. Meanwhile, we are actually acting in terms of reducing the efficiency of our energy by implementing more and more wind and solar at the behest of the United States. And this is one reason why it's a dangerous world, because we're being forced to reduce our competitiveness. Maybe we want to do it anyway. There are people in Australia like Mr. Turnbull who do want to do that anyway, but we're being forced to do it at a time when China is becoming more and more affluent as a result of its usage of coal, or the cheapest forms of electricity, and we are going broke by being woke, if you like.
Well, China, I don't actually believe that China believes in this global warming stuff, right? They've had a lot of scientists say, hey, listen, this is not a real issue. I just think they're just playing the West. They think the West is stupid enough to deindustrialise, or we get richer, fine. There's one other thing in this, Alan. We've had the Greens push this idea that coal is dead, right? Coal is dead. If you build a new coal-fired power station or a mine, it's a stranded asset, the world's moving. China's proving this completely wrong, isn't it?
Oh, yes, they're building lots and lots of new power stations all the time, as are the other developing countries like Vietnam and Indonesia, India, of course, too. People have recognised that they've got to have cheap power, and the cheapest power for most countries is coal. It's certainly we have the best coal in the world, the cheapest in the world. We should have the lowest cost electricity in the world. We did until recently, but we basically undermined this through our domestic policies, and they're paying lip service, more than paying lip service. They're actuated by a general consensus, if you like, that the Flannerys in this world have told us that coal is the thing of the past, that it's dearer anyway, but we've have to subsidise the renewables just to get them over this hump. It's all rubbish. Basically, coal is the cheapest form of electricity that we have, and we can be, again, an economic superpower, but only if we embrace this.
Honestly, we are such fools, and China is exploiting our weaknesses. This is a dictatorship. This is the world's biggest emitter by far. This is the world's biggest user of coal-fired power, bigger than the rest of the world combined. And they're preaching to us about global warming. So would I if you had an idiot at the other end that was meanwhile buying Chinese-built wind farms.
Exactly.
Oh, my God, just to make our idiocy even more... Oh, gosh. Alan Moran, thank you so much indeed for your time.
You're welcome.